Yes, the ACC's Mad Monday podcast returning for the 4th episode of the year. Well, no, it's the 6th episode of the year. Far out, we're doing so many. I'm losing track of them. G'day, Chris Key here. Joining me today, two of the foremost rugby league experts, ready to break down a big old meaty Warriors win. First of all, the one, the only, Dai Henwood.
Oh, mate, just fizzing. The one time I couldn't be on the commentary on the weekend. We had the wonderful Mania and Ben doing it. I listened and watched them in the first half of the game before I did a comedy show.
Right.
And then got home and watched the second half. And I just sat down and loved every minute of it. I was worried. I was stressed because of all the PTSD of being a Warriors fan.
Yes.
And then they just lifted me up into the heavens. Joe Harrison, how was it, buddy?
It's good to be here. I think it's the first time I've ever been on the podcast besides like when we haven't lost by 70 points or
yeah,
or lost
you did
by
that
about
Melbourne
40.
game.
I'm always here after a shocker. So it's good to be here after like the best performance I've seen in many years.
That's right. So as I said, two of the foremost rugby league minds, of course, Dai Henwood and Blocker Harrison, president of the Marcelo Montoya fan club. So without further ado, folks, we do need to rip into this Warriors game. Just quickly, though, we'll be commentating another game this Super Sunday. 3 games of footy back to back to back, starting 4 o'clock with the Warriors taking on the Bulldogs. You'll have Dai Henwood and myself commentating that on Sky Sport 9, so do get amongst it. In the meantime, let's break down the Warriors getting a huge win over the Cowboys, 26 points to 12.
Ball playing now is Tohu Harris back on the inside for an offload.
They're in.
Fafita. But in fact, Wade Egan, and it's a try. Well, it was an offload from Tohu Harris onto Eden Whenua-Blake. The top knot scared me. Tane on for Lewis. Oh, it's try.
Could be over in the corner here.
Well, it was Adam Pompey, in fact, with the jersey pulled over the back of his head. He couldn't see what he was doing. It was an old-school jersey pull, NHL styles. But he manages to just palm off the one player. So see the replay here. Through the hands now. Sean Johnson skipping along. Really using his width. But look at the shirt get pulled over the back of Pompey's head here by Valentine Holmes. He can't see a damn thing. That's squirted out the back. And Cossie Corner, well, memberships are free at the Cossie Club tonight because that's a try. And that is the second leg of my multi that needed to come in today.
Who's that, Mania?
I believe it's the Pokemon Diglett. Taking it to the line there. Slow to get up to his feet. They've both pulled their socks up. It's thrown me for a loop. Holds it up and Marcelo Montoya. Penguin dives into the corner. He puts the ball down with his right hand and it's try time for the Warriors. 3 letters, 4 points and they go up 26-12.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but
I'm ahead of myself, Ben.
grab a seat, see what the flights to Sydney in the first weekend of October are, because it could be our year.
Oh, no.
From me being Hurley and them and Nia Stewart.
Australia without rugby league.
We'll see you next week.
Is not Australia.
Go the Warriors!
Oh, wow. I was going to make a rule on this podcast that literally the title of today's podcast is Don't Say It. All right, but holy cow, I feel like I should say it. Dai Henwood, not only did we get a huge win, North Queensland against the Cowboys, playing in 40-degree heat. You know, we've been training in a cyclonal off-season, as Mania pointed out last week. But the way we won, every single try, a set-piece play, all of their tries, flukes, by the way, in the first half, and then we held on to that lead. As you said, you've got PTSD because we always give it away in the last 15. Holy cow, that did not happen this week.
Look, huge humidity, playing against the coach everyone wanted, Todd Payton. Everyone wanted him in the Warriors. But no, we stuck to a game plan. What impressed me was the fitness of the Warriors. I was particularly watching in that last 15 minutes. We're just pouring back as a line, pouring forward. It's a mark of the team that 11 players, including Tom Arlea and Edward Cossey, all got over 100 metres.
How good.
Tane Tuapiki was a great stand-in for Chance Nickel-Klokstad. I loved what Webby said in the post-match press conference. They said, well, has he done enough to play himself into the team? And they went, nah, he's not in the team. He knows where he stands.
Nice.
He will play a lot of NRL in his career, but Chance is our fullback, and we've got him as a stand-in. The fact that we were missing Chance, we were missing Jackson Ford, Mitch Barnett played out of his skin. He was stretchered to hospital with suspected nerve damage, but has been cleared. So he will be back. The one weak link, I would say, from my point of view, is Pompey.
Yes.
I loved the fact that he stormed over Val Holmes, shirt over the head, and passed it on to Kossi. However, when we needed to play calm football, he was still trying to biff it around in our own 20. He gets lost slightly defensively, so I'd be happy with us playing Vailea and Williami in the centres. However, not a big knock on Pompey. He still did lots to like. Loving Tamati Martin tackling. He's still finding his place, I think, a bit in the structure of attack. I'm loving how we run it a couple wide, then turn the ball on the inside. We're running good lines. Sean Johnson wound the clock back. Plus, he was kicking to the corners. We were just punching down there. I was really interested to see how Dylan Walker and Jazz Tavanga would both fit into the side as similar players. But Dylan Walker seems to be playing more like a middle almost, like just punching the ball up.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because not only do they look exactly the same, and shout out to Jazz Tavanga for wearing head tape so he could tell them apart, but they both, because traditionally Jazz was in that Dylan Walker position, wasn't he? He's coming for his first game back. By the way, already looks awesome. I think he played 60 after missing the first 20 and
he looked fit, eh?
He's really fit, which isn't something you often say about Jazz Tavanga early in the season. But I feel like the fact that Mitch Barnett has, may possibly miss this weekend, although hopefully not, I'm not stressing out about it because we've got Jazz Tavanga, we've got Adam Fanua-Blake, we've got Jackson Ford coming back. We've got one hell of a forward pack. We've got so much so that our bench is stacked. And as you say, the only weakness now is the centres. Joel Harrison, as I said, you're the president of the Marcelo Montoya fan club. I think he got the highest score in Supercoach this week out of literally everyone. You must have had a field day, mate.
Yeah, I think it was 239 metres run, 3 line breaks, 2 tries. He was everywhere. There was one time in the first half where he probably could have ran a little bit further to the corner and scored another try. But it's just very minor things we're pointing on here. Like it's great to have minor things to touch on for the Warriors as well. But
absolutely.
He looks
amazing.
like he's made out of concrete, man. When he runs the ball back and goes into contact, it always looks like it hurts. Speaking of getting hurt, Wade Egan was knocked out hardcore.
Shoulder of Tomalolo.
He just hit it side of the head and he just fell back like he was in a bad trustful situation at a team-building exercise and no one was there.
Well, he looked groggy in the first half as well. I think
because he went off in the first half.
Yeah.
And he passed his HIA.
I don't know how because they cut to a close-up of him and he tried to squirt water in his mouth and he missed and squirted his neck. And I was like, that's him done. And then he came back on and he got knocked out again.
God, we've all tried to squirt it on the face and ended up on the neck. It's sort of like it's a
my life.
Real issue. Yeah, what are you getting the ref's room number, mate?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
But I mean, without getting carried away, you can look at a good form marker here because against the Roosters, that was a game we could have easily won. We had a couple of shockers of Dylan Walker dropping the ball and the ball playing with no dummy half on attack, which was...
That's the low point of the season, that exact play, I think.
But having said that, there was so much to like in that game. We fully defended hard against the Roosters. We had a good one against the Knights. My PTSD kicks in again, us playing the Bulldogs at home, because this is a game on paper we should win. The Dogs are in pretty good form. But... wow, this has been a good start to the season.
It has.
I see us winning. I'm not sure where we'll sit come finals time, but I see us winning a lot more games this season. Even though it's only Webby who's changed in the coaching, whatever he's done, we look fit. We're playing to a simple game plan. I bloody love it.
We're playing for one another. As someone, a commentator said, I think it was Brandy, said at the end of the game, not a single Warrior can put their hand up and say, I didn't contribute to that win. Everyone's leaving their heart and soul out there. I mean, Joel, we're sitting fourth. We can beat the Sea Eagles. We can beat the Dolphins. We can beat the Broncos. We could pretty much be top of the table in a few weeks' time if we play our cards right. But were the Cowboys having an off day, Joel? What do you reckon?
They were having a shocker.
They did have a shocker.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw their fullback, and I was like, is this Nico Hines, the new guy, Tom Chester? Yeah, he played really good.
He does look like a Kmart version of Nico Hines. And him and Granville, when he came on, he had a little top knot. They look like a couple of girls at a sleepover talking about how cute Tamati Martin is, you know? That's the vibe I got. But both fullbacks, brand new, great debuts from both, to be fair.
And, I mean, Tomalolo was pretty ineffective in that game.
They're playing him less minutes than last year.
Yeah, the only time I really saw him was when he got knocked out, when he knocked out Wade Egan. Ruben Cotter, Griffin Neem didn't really
Nanai did
boost
nothing.
too much. And to be honest, look at their try situation. The first try was off the post,
Yeah,
right?
luck.
So that was a bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
And then we just held them scoreless. I swore in that last 8 minutes, they're going to score, but we'll still win the game. But we held them off. Webby's got to be happy with that. We've been on the road twice. We're back to Mount Smart. I tell you, in the Warriors forums, it is popping
Are you deep in the Warriors forums, are you?
Deep in the Warriors forums.
I'm guessing that can be a very dark place to be quite a lot of the time.
It's been a very dark place. And I was thinking back, I actually don't think I've seen a better game since we beat Melbourne to go to the grand final in 2011. I don't think I've seen a better Warriors game since then. Like, just in terms of a comprehensive victory.
It was.
Last year, all our wins were sketchy as. This year, solid.
I think you take the first 20 minutes of the game, it was like, it's going to be one of these games. It was 12-6.
Reece Robson was running in riot. He
Yeah.
was heaps of breaks, yeah.
I would say the best 60 minutes, because it wasn't the complete performance just because of the start. There was that still doubt in your mind at the start, but yeah, I agree. I hadn't seen anything like it for years.
But even though it was 12-6, we still got back in the game.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like it sort of just did that blow away.
Yeah.
We got back in the game. The point I'd been worried about in the first couple of weeks was the kicking, our attacking kicking. But we were kicking it down to the corners.
That was the control. That was the part there that I was impressed with. The last 15, 20 minutes where we were ahead, we had to hold on. And Sean was just putting them down in the corner. They were running it out. Our men were meeting them there. They were having to run it out of the deep end, and it was fantastic.
How nice was it when we're just playing so well, the commentators have to just talk about
They have to.
the fact that the Warriors are doing everything right. Warriors are doing everything right here.
Which is weird, and everyone was freaking out. I was listening to a podcast earlier today about it where the guys were begrudgingly talking more about how bad the Cowboys were than how good the Warriors were. But even a bad Cowboys at home should be able to beat, the Warriors of old.
Well, they're a definite top 8 side.
They are, yes.
Not anymore, mate.
Not
at the
anymore.
moment.
How weird is it when I just thought, I have a look at the ladder on Sunday, and it's like Brisbane, Dolphins, Warriors,
Manly.
and Manly.
So, sorry, Joe, hang on just quickly. If you'd put a bet on the Warriors and the Dolphins to be in the top 4 after 3 rounds, what would that be paying?
A lot.
A shitload.
Yeah.
So I'll be,
So my point of looking and getting a real gauge is after, say, 6 rounds, because then I feel we're a quarter of the way through the season-ish. So then it's like, okay, things are starting to settle down. So we've got the Sharks, we've got the Dogs, then we've got the Sharks. Both winnable games. We've got the Dogs, we've got the Sharks, and then in round 6, we're playing the Knights again.
Oh,
so
winnable.
we've been given a reasonable draw here.
And that Sharks game is Nico's first game back, probably, from injury.
Yeah, and the way Trindle's going, I reckon Moylan will drop out of the side. And
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and Trindle will play 6 and Nico will play 7.
I was going to say, did you see during the game Jordan McLean, who should probably be in jail or something, but he was having a go at their younger Nanai.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Like a massive blow up at the 19-year-old who's like, I don't know what happened, but the Cowboys are falling to
I
pieces
think
big time.
what happened is Nanai signed an 8-year, multi-million-dollar contract, and then he only has like 3 runs a game, Nanai. He's just lucky that quite often he scores so many tries. He doesn't actually get through that much work.
But because he was always the guy score off the chip. He
Off
was
the kick,
always happened to be in the right place running on. In fact, he was over the try line on that exact play. Remember, he almost scored towards the end of the game.
That's right, went dead though, which was great.
But Jordan McLean was going off at him like when you come home from the pub and your cuzzy's on your middy.
Been there, brother.
Get off, mate. Give him a spray.
Obviously, we've mentioned Jazz Tavanga and Dylan Walker, who look identical and both played fantastic, so I don't even care which one's which. They're both doing great
They
work.
look buff and fit.
They do. It's so good. And they combined for a try, which was fantastic. Adam Fanua-Blake's new Aladdin Genie-style hairdo, yes or no? What do you reckon?
I'm all for it.
I love it.
You love it?
I love it. What, he's all shaved up with a little top knot.
Little top knot there.
He could have got on a carpet and flown back to Mount Smart after the game. That would have been phenomenal. How good's his work rate?
Oh, yeah.
When the team's been shit, his work rate's awesome. When the team's good, his work rate's awesome.
Well, he set up Wade Egan for that try as well.
That was
a huge
beautiful.
bust.
He did a similar thing last week as well against the Roosters. Very similar, and then did that massive offload to the middle. So.
How
Yeah,
good is having a staunch forward pack again?
It's amazing.
Like Barnett, before he was taken off, he did so much work. The person who I actually thought was going to pop bigger than they have is Niokore.
He hasn't had to, right?
No, he's done nothing wrong. He's
Nah,
playing good.
solid.
But
Yeah.
I thought he would be a bit of a standout, but, North Queensland weren't expecting that. And there was some stressed out, inbred fools in that crowd. Let me tell you that. It's a beautiful stadium there too.
It is. It's fantastic, and nothing makes me happier than seeing Cowboys fans upset. And I just love the idea of all of them having all these bets, surefire bets, multis, relying on the Cows to beat the Warriors at home, and we just ruined all of them.
I'd just take a moment to think of the poor state of Ben Hurley's trousers, because he went into this commentary after the Titans beat Melbourne Storm.
Wow.
And he was erupting like the Wellington Fountain on it's hot January afternoon. Then he comes in here into this little room and commentates the Warriors destroying North Queensland. So
He'll be a shell of a man now, won't he? Just in full recovery mode.
Oh, I reckon his Titans onesie has done 2 rounds at the laundromat to try and clean it up.
True that. All right, any last takes before we walk away from this? One quickly from me. Dai, you said last year, because I write down everything you ever say and sort of document
Thank
it.
you.
You said a sign of a good team is when they win the big games. Melbourne always does it. The Warriors winning Tohu's 200th game, him playing the full 80 once again. That's a really good sign for the team, isn't it?
Oh, Tohu, just what a workhorse. He just tackles. His tackle rate is huge. He does all the little things right, and it's so true. Winning a game for a legend like Tohu, winning such a big game, he'll just be stoked. The team showed up for him. He looked pretty battered and bruised in the press conference, but you could see how happy he was. And it bodes well, and it looks like they're all enjoying their football.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, because when they're enjoying it and having fun, I don't know what Andrew Webster's doing, but have we just finally got the right coach?
Well, I'm thinking that about him and also about Wade Egan. I'm like, let's just give both of them 10-year contracts right now, snap them up.
Wade Egan's he's gone from being a middling journeyman to being a top-rated number 9.
Obviously he's playing awesome, but it's also the fact that our forward pack has actually allowed him to do this for once. You know, we look awesome. We're setting a platform for him, aren't we, Joel?
I am, yeah. Oh, he is. Sorry, and I was
setting a platform
I'm
for
setting
him?
the platform for the Warriors Nation fan club, and I was like daydreaming this morning at work, and I was just thinking, do you dare to dream? Is it too early to
Don't
dream?
say it. Don't say it.
I was saying it about 100 times at this the poor drinks I was at on Saturday night. But I was just thinking, like, what if we do go all the way to the grand final, we win it? How good would it be?
Also, Mad Monday commentary. Unbeaten.
Yes.
Because we didn't commentate the Roosters game.
Undefeated, yes. This is fantastic. So it's strategic.
Undefeated. And also my thoughts and prayers are with Marcelo Montoya if he chooses to go to the Hits Christmas party again, because Wow.
Wait, so was he actually there? Because I know his partner works for the Hits, right?
Yeah, he was there. Ben Boyce and I were there punishing him for a long time.
What was he like?
Joe, what was he like? What was he like? It was good, man. He's hot. He's hot. And he's rocking some serious downstairs operation. I can tell you for free. You can tell there's something good going on there.
Well, if he's at the Hits Christmas party coming off a hot man Monday after winning the GF,
Jesus.
saddle up.
Who do you think would party more after winning the GF, Montoya or Joel Harrison?
The notorious pants man.
Yeah, the two might meet and just erupt. It'll be like a bloody, what's it called? The Hadron. Nah, don't worry about it. Fantastic. Before we wrap up, Sean Johnson played well, attacking the lines. Him and Tamati Martin looked great.
How good is it him just sort of jinking into the line? He's running with confidence, then offloading the ball. There was a great stat saying the Warriors forwards have passed it more than any other team in the comp. But not stupid passes.
No, especially Tohu as well. They're like money passes.
We're all just showing good shape, and obviously we've been given a simple game plan that we're playing to, and we're defending well. So, awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. I don't want to sound like people. I'm assuming these people listen to our podcast, guys, but two things. I made a joke last week that the only way you could tell Britton, Nikora and Sean Johnson apart when they were at the Sharks was that Britton would run it. And then Sean ran it. It was awesome this week. And the other thing too, I had to go at the Warriors physio, who's always got a massive shit-eating grin on whenever he's escorting someone who's just had their brains knocked out.
Yeah.
It's just, he's a cheeky looking dude, and I'm sure he's a nice guy. He didn't do it this week. He looked very serious. So I think we've got a lot of the Warriors listening. So shout out to you guys.
If you could tell any of them something this week, what are you saying?
Don't do what the Dogs did and let the Tigers score 4 tries against them, basically. So, and we're playing the Dogs, so or we can take advantage of that this week, basically. But all right, that wraps up a huge Warriors win, one of the best we've seen in a long, long time. We're going to move on now to the stonker of the round. It was the Roosters getting a massive win over the Rabbitohs 2018.
The 12 out. They head through the hands to the right-hand side. Keary now. Tedesco with a tapper. Jackson Polo has scored the try. You should have kicked it, Tom. Oh, that's a head high.
It's a careless action that makes high contact. He's in the bin. On report. Michael comes in unnecessarily and flares things up. He's in the bin too.
He's in the bin too, Freddie. We went too early. It was a game effort, but the ball is going to roll dead, and the Roosters are going to come away with victory over their next-door neighbours.
Yes, an absolute stonker. The Roosters getting the win there over the Rabbitohs just. That game, otherwise known as the Henwood Bowl, Dai v Charlie. Your son, an avid Rabbitohs fan.
Yeah.
Huge Trail Mitt fan. And did it make you proud to see your Roosters just win by 2 just over wee Charlie's Rabbits?
Standing over my son. Drinking in, son. Drinking being a loser. No. I woke everyone up in the house and I was just screaming because he was asleep and I was standing over his bed going, I watched the game and you lost. No, actually, I've got a real soft spot for South, so I think it's because I like a lot of their players. Like I love Keon Kolomatangi.
Oh my God,
he's just he scucks ass off the field. Everything about him's just dripping.
He could be him and like the other one I love is Olakwatu. Those two could be the 2 premier back rowers in the game by the end of the season.
Yeah, they just run hard. Also, Campbell Graham, 194 metres, and he does some rocking tackles. But South's all losing Jackson Polo, who is now at the Roosters, who had a cracker of a game, and he got he got 1 or 2 tries, I think, under his belt. He got 2 tries under his belt, and the Roosters just kept their head. They kept their head, and Souths couldn't get back into the game. The state of Joey Manu looking like an 80s boxer. Like he's got these huge ear pads under his headgear, and in fact at one stage he didn't hear the 6 again and he just got up and dropped the ball thinking he was tackled on the 5th.
That's right. Because especially after that scrap we just heard, his facial fracture could, because he got like slightly tapped in the face by Michael Cheekham, and his eye puffed up straight away. Plus, he had to wear, as you said, the boxing headgear. Is that a bad sign? Could he be out for a wee while?
Because I was listening to the Hectic Cheese was doing the Sunday show on Triple M, and he said, "Oh yeah, Joey Manu just dropped it because he's straight up a dickhead, eh?" And I just cut holes in my headgear when I have to wear it. So that was his buzz, and he said Jared Waerea-Hargreaves just his head's too big for football.
That's analysis right there. I like it.
His analysis was just real left field burns on every player. He was really enjoyable to listen to. Yeah, I don't know. Joey Manu really looked in the wars.
Yeah, he did not look good.
And then he tried to take someone's head off. He made a great try-saving tackle.
On
and then
Isaiah Tass, I think it
did
was.
it again, and then just like pretty much ripped his back of his neck off in that one. And will he be out for that? I think he was sent off for it.
He was. They were both sent off for the initial contact, but also for the retaliation. But I think if he's not missing a game for that, surely with that facial fracture.
Yeah.
It didn't look good.
Looked terrible, which is weird for Joey Manu because he always looks good. Joey Scucks, after all.
Joey Scucks, indeed. No, I mean, the Roosters definitely came back into form.
Yeah.
Souths have lost two pretty close, tough games, Roosters and Penrith, so it's hard to get a bead on where they are.
I think Souths will, once their draw opens up a wee bit, because I know they've got a hard run, and then they start to soften up a wee bit. So I think that's when we'll really see what they've got.
And Cam Murray, just a great player. Made a beautiful break. I think this could have been their game. Trill Mitt wasn't that involved, was he?
He always starts slow, though, I've noticed with Trowell, because as you said, the first episode, 2023 Mad Monday podcast, approximately 147, you said he looked like he'd been in the top paddock for a while.
Yeah.
And this is what happens with Trowell. He plays himself into fitness.
He's been having a bit of kai up on his farm in Taree there, but he still looks fun. I love the way he fully engages with the crowd. Eh?
Yeah, like big grin after kicking.
He kicked one over from the sideline, then he just turns around and really soaks it in. Eh?
It's so good.
Sean Johnson did the same thing as well, I saw, when he kicked one over from the sideline.
That's right. It's confidence there.
So, what I love about this is we've got a really good comp on our hands. It's very hard to pick who's who. There's like... anyone can win it except for the Tigers. Like
maybe the Knights as well. I think they'll be struggling.
Yeah, there's like 15 good teams.
Oh yeah, which is excellent because usually there's a massive divide and a whole lot of crap teams. One thing I got frustrated about, but Brandon Smith, the moment everyone in the world trades him out of your Supercoach team, he scores a try. But I do love the way they had Turpin starting, and then they bring the couple of psychos, JWH and Brandon Smith, off the bench together. I think that is a real key way for the Roosters to run things.
That game changed at that exact moment.
Yeah.
So what I found a really interesting stat is the player that has the most effect on the Roosters win-loss ratio is Waerea-Hargreaves.
Right.
So they win a ridiculous amount of games that he plays versus the games he doesn't play. He just is the enforcer. I think he's one of those guys, even if he doesn't make heaps of yards, he just hurts to tackle, so he just tires out a team. And I traded Smith out and then just watch him run through that gaping hole
huge,
for a line breaker to try.
Huge Swiss cheese hole there, so just straight through. But Joel, anything else you want to say about this game?
The Roosters, they still have a couple players to come back. So Tilly Tuponua's out, a few others. And
he's beautiful and I love him.
They're going to be good. They're going to be a good team come the end of the year. I reckon once everything's firing, they're going to look dangerous.
Well, that's the thing. And we'll get into this with the new Supercoach Corner potty that'll come out tomorrow morning. We'll be picking not only Dai Henwood's brain, but in future as well, one of the foremost rugby league experts. I know I've said that a lot today, throwing it around like, anyone can earn the role title. By the way, Adam, producer, foremost rugby league expert. But we're going to be breaking down Teddy, right? He's one of the most, historically, the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, Teddy has been the top fullback. I'm freaking out over here. I think he's only had one line break all season.
Yeah,
what the hell?
We'll save it for Supercoach Corner, but yeah.
But has Teddy passed it, Di, is what I'm asking.
No, he's still dancing around, and I thought that Teddy might assert more dominance on this game because there's all this talk going around Suwali'i, who wants to play fullback
and didn't pass it to him, so they must hate each other.
Yeah, which I just think he just was a bit of a hungus.
Yeah, Hamu, right there.
But I expected Teddy to do a bit more, but he hasn't been breaking the line, and I wonder whether he's just so well marked.
How much longer does Joey Manu have on his contract? Is this his last year on contract for the Roosters, or?
I'm not that sure. I think he's got one more year. I think his contract ends at the end of 24.
Is that you thinking of getting drunk and then telling him to come to the Warriors?
Yeah, well, because obviously they signed Tedesco for 3 more years last week. End of next year. Yeah, he'll be at the Warriors end of the year after next then.
Yeah, 2025.
Yeah, I could see he obviously wants to come home, just have a cruisy lifestyle in New Zealand, and I would welcome him back with open arms, Joey Manu, if you're listening.
Well, he's got to, he's got to, sort of take that position from Adam Pompey, who's made it his own.
True.
So I don't know.
Imagine if 2025 we had RTS and Manu rolling out. You have RTS at fullback. You have Chance. You've got Manu just charging up on the crystal pistol. But if you had Chance and Joey Manu in the centres, you had RTS at fullback.
Skunks.
Cossie Club and Montoya.
Yeah, I love Cossie. I want to leave him there. He's good. Those are the stars we can get though, as boys who've got whānau here, and you can say, come play for the Wires. Come on.
But hey, that was a great game. Special mentions wise, the Broncos are on fire.
Yeah, the Broncos are on fire.
When they're 18 all at 10 minutes to go.
We'll get into this in the key points, which we're going to do next.
Key points, yeah.
Okay. But absolutely, the Broncos are shaping up to be my favourite team to watch, other than the Warriors.
I hate them.
And Manly. Oh, yeah, you do hate them, don't you?
I definitely hate them now. But I feel like, look, you can't be too mad at Reece Walsh, but it's like seeing an ex...
Hang on, we'll do it next.
Okay, we'll do it next. Sorry.
Should we just...
Let's take a break now, all right? We'll be back with all the key points from the rest of the game, and also just a fantastic new Bulldogs chant that we are going to massively get behind.
Yeah, what are you getting the ref's room number, mate?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Matt Burton, he came from Penrith to the Bulldogs. It's frightening with him and Jacob Kiraz. There's nobody else like Matty Burton. Matt Burton, he came from Penrith to the Bulldogs. It's frightening with him and Jacob Kiraz.
Yeah, shout out to the Bulldogs. Brand new chant there that the whole stadium will be getting behind. I love if you haven't seen the video, I think NRL Roast shared it. It's just, you can tell he's a die-hard Bulldogs fan. He's genuinely spent time coming up with it. He's put his heart on his sleeve.
Matty Burton, he came to the Bulldogs with Jacob Panthers.
Kiraz.
And how about Jacob Kiraz?
Billy Army kick out. Oh, we could actually take it over. Mad Monday. That's the one, John.
With Christine Keezy from the Big Show.
And Dai Henwood and Joel from the Hits. And anyway, welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast. Time to go through some of the other key points of the round. These will be some quick hits. So obviously everyone knows what's coming here. Who is legit out of the current undefeated teams? The top 4, including the Warriors, of course. We've got the Broncos in first, Dolphins in second place, the Seagulls third. Broncos, Dolphins played 3, won 3. The Broncos ahead with 3 points on points differential. Out of those 3, Dai Henwood and Joel Harrison, who do you think is a mirage and who do you think is legit?
Sadly, I think the Broncos are legit.
I think they're legit as well.
I think the Dolphins will fall off. I don't think they'll be shithouse, but I think they will fall off. I think Manly will be in the top 8.
Yeah,
I like the way Manly's playing. If Tommy T stays on the park, Travojevic had a great game. Josh Schuster looked good.
Man, he looks scucks, eh? Holy
He looks scucks. DCE's looking pretty good. They have a nice forward pack. The one thing is Brisbane is the whole comp's rigged for Brisbane. They're playing the Dolphins this week at Suncorp, and it's another away game for Brisbane.
Okay, that's bullshit. Because you said Magic Round, I believe, 3 podcasts ago.
Yeah.
Magic Round is also an away game,
so
right?
They have 2 away games at Suncorp this season.
That's bollocks.
Because this means they're playing 4 out of their first 5 games at Suncorp. One of them's an away game against the Dolphins. So
oh my God.
It's a bit of a scam. I mean, that is going to be a blockbuster, even though the Dolphins are missing Felice Kafusi.
He really has shown that you can lead the way with defence. Old Kafusia, he's ignited his boys.
Do you reckon that's bullshit that it's 3 weeks though? Like,
Yeah.
Give it a week, man. Bring back the Biff. It was a bad tackle, obviously, but I reckon 1 week is more than enough for that. Like, yeah, it's killing the Dolphins by taking them out for 3 games.
3 weeks it's a big one. I mean, it was a pretty hefty tackle on old Jackson Hastings. You got to give it that. But yeah, I think legit Brisbane, legit
okay.
Manly.
Brisbane, tick. Manly, tick. Dolphins, the one that everyone's thinking of. I know you're thinking, look, they're on a hot streak, whatever, but the brand of footy they're playing, there's a lot of buy in there from the players and stuff. I still am not sure whether I'm ready to circle them and say, yeah, they're legit,
I reckon they have legit players who they've clearly come together. They've found their porpoise.
Phenomenal text that I'm still laughing at from our thread.
But
Like it, Harris.
I reckon the Hammer, like he's a massive loss for the Cowboys. When you see his breakthroughs, his pace, it's unreal.
Well, they weren't using him that much, were they?
But the Hammer's an example of a guy who I reckon has just found his home at the Dolphins. Like, I don't think the Cows were getting the right amount of footy out of him. A bit like Asai Papali'i when he moved from the Warriors to the Eels, and he was superb. Then he moved to Tigers, and he sucks.
He has been a bit up and down.
Well, he's just been really average.
He has, yeah.
And the Broncos, I mean, it's like Reece Walsh. He wouldn't be playing like that at the Warriors. Chance Nickel-Klokstad's way better. Reece Walsh is playing okay. He's having the odd touch.
Who, Reece?
Yeah,
I've heard of him.
He's having the odd touch.
He's a diva.
Are you still stalking him like an ex?
Yeah, we'll massively get into that in Superculture Corner tomorrow on the potty. Don't you worry about that. I'll be getting real deep into Reece Walsh. The thing about the Dolphins is I keep, especially their back three really sums it up for me. You got Asako, Tessinu, and Hamiso.
Asako always had a good...
Oh, rocks and diamonds. Big, bright diamonds, and then rocks of nothing, right? Great goal kicker. And the same can be said about Tessinu as well. And the Hammer, it's try scoring or it's nothing. And they're actually doing it though, and it's been 3 games now. I'm trying to figure out, is it still a mirage or
Wayne Bennett.
You reckon it's Benno?
It could be Bennett, using these talented players how they should be used. You got Ewan Aitken, Cody Nikorima both playing great for ex-Warriors players.
Ewan Aitken playing in the centres, as I mentioned a couple of podcasts ago. What the hell? He straight away was like, yeah, chuck me in the centres, no worries.
Yeah.
Wayne, whatever you need, mate. So, all right, so I'm going to underline Dolphins. We're not too sure yet, but they're looking okay. Broncos, yes. Manly, yes, as well. Next key talking point. Are Melbourne finally terrible, or are the Titans officially good, or neither of the above?
God, I found this a very hard game to watch.
Oh, it was punishing.
There was so much. The second half was just drop ball after drop ball. I'm surprised Craig Bellamy's alive.
Yeah, oh my God.
I'm surprised he didn't have a full-blown heart attack. He gave him a massive spray again. They just are not clicking at all. I've never seen Melbourne stuff up so many basic, just dropping the ball.
Yeah, the fundamentals.
Missing tackles, being inside the 10, the fundamentals, and somehow Hurley's Titans got over the line.
I mean, shout out to the Titans. I think they've won 2 games now this season, so well done for them. One of them being the Storm, which is fantastic. Almost 80 points scored, though. I mean, that is... I was on a stag do while this was happening, Saturday, so I had to watch the Warriors this morning with a cup of coffee, which I absolutely loved. I watched a highlights reel of this, and so I didn't see all the big drop balls and stuff. I just saw try after try after try after try.
It was a rough watch.
It was a rough watch, right. So... What do you reckon, Joel? Are the Titans going to go all the way this year into the top 8 like Hurley famously said at the beginning of last season?
I think there's too many good teams for them to be in the top 8 this year, but I reckon they're looking better,
They still can't defend though, right?
They can't, nah.
Yeah.
This guy, Khan Pereira, looks great though.
He's so quick.
Yeah, he looks electric. A few tries he scored were awesome.
We'll be talking to him in Supercoach as well.
We will.
On to him.
Big time. Big time. Right, so we'll put a line under none of the above for are Melbourne finally terrible or are the Titans finally good?
But I think that Melbourne, I reckon they'll make the top 8. I still think they'll make the top 8.
Same. I mean, Munster's back next week.
They've got too much form, and the fact that they're missing Munster.
Yeah.
They
got Olin back now as well.
Dangerous.
So.
Did Asafa Solomona play? Because
he's injured.
Yeah, he's a bit injured as well.
So,
bring back these guns.
You bring those two back, it's a different side.
And then, if everything goes to plan, Pappenhausen comes back, Meany on the wing, you've officially got Melbourne of old. They'll be back.
The Pap smear.
It's just a matter of...
I don't think he's going to play, though, but yeah.
No, I don't think either. That's why I've got... But we'll save this for Supercoach Corner. That's why I've got Nick Meany. Yeah. Right, third and final key point of the round. We finally know who the worst team in the competition is. It is the Tigers. Holy cow. Last night's game... obviously it was ridiculous. It was like a record-breaking day. It was played at Belmore. It was the hottest day they've ever played a game of footy there. So it was 4 quarters almost. They had drinks breaks halfway through the half.
And an even longer half time.
Yeah, like a 20-minute, which, by the way, was fantastic. I ordered a pizza, drove, picked it up, got back, and just as I walked in, sat the pizza down and looked up at the TV, it was kick-off. Great length of halftime for that.
The thing is... Before the season, I was like, who's the worst team? The Tigers. Then watch it. Oh, no, there's still a worst team.
Yeah. It's like, it's comforting.
No matter what, Sheens and Benji have come in, they're just keeping their form. They're in absolute shambles. They don't quite know what they're doing. They're not getting the best out of Luke Brooks. Dewey is...
Well, he looked injured or something.
Yeah.
John Bateman was shit. It was his debut.
No. Sorry. You carry on. He was shit. But I was just like, he's come from the UK. It's the hottest day they've ever played.
Yeah.
But they first said he was acclimatising to Australia, so he couldn't play the first 3 because it took 3 weeks to acclimatise.
Because he was playing in 40 degrees.
And also he was in Canberra before that as well.
And he had a documented ankle injury, which the Tigers have said he didn't have an ankle injury. And can everyone stop talking about his ankle?
Right.
Which sort of implied it was his ankle.
Well, he didn't need his ankle to dive on that try that he just bombed over the line. He did an awesome play, like a soccer player, kicked it through.
And then he headbutted it.
Yeah, ducked. I was like, come on, John Bateman, you're supposed to be good.
And he's meant to be a player that drags a team up because he gets everyone on board. But he had a bit of a shocking debut at the Tigers. They just... I don't know where they're going to find their points from.
You can see Uppy is like picking it, scooping the ball up, sprinting, looking left for Viliami kick out, looking right to pass to Nathan Cleary.
Did you see him drop the ball cold and then Viliami kick out just give him grief?
Oh my God. It's just like, it's so hard to watch because Uppy is such a pro. Quick couple of notes I've got here. Does Alex Twal even want to score? Uppy put him through space there to dive straight over the line, and it's like Alex Twal has resided himself to being a decoy runner, and he just had his hands down by his side, and it just bounced off his torso. Come on, Alex, get a try. On a night where Corey Horsburgh gets 2.
It almost felt like this game was match fixing or something, because it was like the Tigers just tried to lose it.
Yeah.
There was a couple tries when the young guys, Alamotti.
Paul Alamotti was a beast.
Yeah, running down the sideline with Edo Carr, and it was like they were jogging and just passing it. I think they passed it like 3 or 4 times.
And then he drew
them.
in the 2 defenders and then offloaded it to Edo Carr.
The Tigers looked lackluster.
Singing "What Does the Fox Say" the entire time.
Let's try.
And can I remind everyone that Paul Alamotti is 19 years old and he is built like Dwayne Johnson.
Great getting my Supercoach.
Same
We'll talk about that later on in the
Supercoach. Tomorrow we'll talk about that. And also shout out to Matt Burton for finally having a good game, taking the line on, looking really good.
Matty Burton came from the Panthers.
Jacob Preston looks good as well for the Bulldogs. The
Preston
rookie.
must have
definitely.
And Jacob Carrez.
he's leading the Dally M at the moment.
I think Carrez is going to be this year's Brian Tour from 2 years ago, where he leads everyone in metres because that dude is busy. And shout out to Brandon Wakeham for apparently being the Tigers' best player. He came on and turned the entire team around. It was bananas. But look, that wraps up the key talking points for this week's Mad Monday podcast. Before we do go, this weekend once again 4:00 to kick off a fantastic Super Sunday. The Warriors taking on the Bulldogs. Myself and Dai Henwood will be commentating that on Sky Sports 6. Please do come along. Dai, what do you reckon? Can we get one over the Bulldogs?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I think you'll be there too, Joel Harrison, right? Can we do
13
it?
plus. I'll be there. 13 plus Warriors. Get the bits on now.
Oh, yeah. See you tomorrow for Supercoach Corner.